The last type of question be the predictive type of question. Here you're being asked to provide a forecast or guess what the information indicates for the future. For example, you might be presented with data showing that a nation has recently become industrialized and are asked to predict an economic outcome that might occur. Again, as in an explanation question, you must first create a generalization about the data to obtain its overall meaning. Then you go to one step further and use your knowledge of global history to make an educated guess as to what would probably happen at some point in the future. This type of question can also take a variety of different forms. For example, which would be an effect of the situation shown in the data, or which would be most effective to change the situation shown in the data? Lastly, based on the information in the data, what will most likely occur? One thing you have to go over with the students is the fact that the different types of databases, such as the line graph, the bar graphs, or the maps, are really different means that the students must know how to read them. Each type of data calls for different skills in reading them. One thing that you must remember that the different types of databases are different in ways that there are different ways of reading them. There are special skills one has to know. Maps are different from line charts and bar charts and timelines. There are different clues to how to read them. For example, let's look at a line graph. A line graph is a chart made up of various points connected by a line. It is often used to show how something has changed over time. Some line graphs have more than one line to show a comparison of two or more things. There are keys. Let's look at some of the keys. It's important to understand any line graph by looking at its major components. For example, let's look at the line graph over there. 1. Look at the title. The title identifies the central information in the graph. For example, the graph below deals with the unemployment rates during a 10-year period. The legend or key. The key or legend unlocks the information found on a line graph. In this graph, a legend is not needed since the lines of the graph are directly marked. Vertical and horizontal axes. Each line graph contains a vertical and horizontal axis. Notice that as you move up the vertical axis, the percentage of unemployed workers increases. Often, the horizontal axis indicates the years, as in a line graph. Trends. A line graph will also reveal a trend or a pattern. This is especially true when more than one line is being presented. By comparing the movement of each line, you get a clear idea of what has taken place. Now notice the type of questions that can be asked about them. As we said before, there are 5 different types of general questions. In this case, we're going to ask a comprehension question such as, what percentage of the German workforce was unemployed in 1932? Or you can ask a conclusion question. What conclusion can be drawn from the data in the line graph? Now, here are some suggestions that your Social Studies department can use to help the students answer the database stimuli. At the beginning of the school year, each week present a lesson about reading a different type of database to all the types that have been explained. This way, the students will have an understanding throughout the year as to when they see different types of data, they would understand the clues on how to read them. Second, create a test bank of database questions that ask comprehension, conclusion generalizations, explanation, and predictive type of questions based on this. This way, students will see a variety of questions that can be asked about the different types of data. Now, how will this book, the Clio Publishing's book, help the students pass this test? 1. An entire chapter is devoted to answering different types of databases in the book. Each one of the databases explained in detail and the types of questions that can be asked of it. 2. There are over 190 databases used in this book for students to see. And there will be over 450 database questions asked of the students. In this way, students throughout the year will get a taste of all the different types of databases and all the various types of questions that can be used. At the end of the year, when they come into that final test, it'll not be the first time they see these different types of questions or these different types of databases. The next video will present a detailed look on the short answer constructed response question. Thank you very much.